Channel. If you have not like and subscribe the channel, please like and subscribe the channel. This is the place where you can learn Microsoft Intune, anything related to Windows, iOS, Android or Mac operating system. Today in this video I am going to say you how you can block the corporate access like email, applications or content from on your iOS devices if any iOS version releases is becoming vulnerable or has 0-day vulnerability. There is no way to block. As per my research, there is no way to block the complete OS, but you can control the operating system if the device is supervised through MDM or DDM policy. What is DDM, what is MDM? I've already made video. You can search on my channel how you can use the MDM and what is the benefit of using DDM and how you can manage and control the operating system, iOS operating system through these policies. In this video, in next 5 minutes, I am gonna say you how you can block the corporate access. Right, since we are not able to block the operating system because Apple won't allow any MDM vendor, at least as far as I know, to control their operating system. We can only defer for 90 days, up to 90 days, not more than that, right? But you can block it, right? So if the operating system is become vulnerable, and this will be the security compliance issue, so we have the options to block the corporate access so that the user, if they have upgraded to certain operating system or a specific operating system which is vulnerable, we can block the corporate access on those devices and we can mark the devices non-compliant. We can also notify the users. So I'm gonna show you, so keep watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's get started. So this is Microsoft Intune portal. As you can see here, since we are talking about iOS operating system, on Android you can also manage through, if it's a Samsung devices, you can control the operating system through other method, but I'm just focusing now for iOS. So since we're talking, so let's go to the iOS and let's go to the compliance policy. So if you are confused between BYD and company owned devices, like personally owned company owned devices, or MDM versus MAM devices, you have to first understand what is the difference between. I have already made video. This compliance policy is going to apply for both, whether it's BYD managed iOS devices or company iOS devices, whether it's supervised or non-supervised. So there is no confusion. Any type of iOS devices you have, it's being managed through MDM policy, MDM device management. This compliance policy will apply with enrollment. If it's without enrollment like MAM, then this compliance policy will not apply in BYD scenario, or without enrollment, but just for the MAM. Okay, so let's create a new compliance policy. So create a new policy. I'll give name just block corporate access on. You can give any name upon. I'm just giving 0-day V for iOS devices. It's a longer name, you can put as per your requirement. And here, if you have go to the device properties, here device properties, you don't have to touch anything. In case if you want specific, you want to do for anything you want to enable or disable. Since we're just creating a controlling the OS version, marking as devices, so You can set the minimum OS version or maximum OS version. You may be thinking it's very easy, but to understand how it's work, how to create, if you are expert, you may know. If you are new, you must learn from us. So, so under this compliance policy, you have to set the minimum OS version. Suppose you want to set 18.0.0 should be a minimum operating system, which, I mean, then only those devices users can access the corporate access. You want to set the maximum OS versions. So if you just hover on it, you can see, you can select the newest OS version a device can have. This compliance check is supported for the devices with OS version 8 and above. So maximum version currently it's available 18.5.0, right? But suppose this 18.5.0 which is available today in the public is vulnerable by somehow. I'm just taking one example, and you want to block the corporate access, right? So how you can? Through this compliance policy, we're gonna mark the devices as non-compliant. So if the device is running on 18.5, and if you put 18.5 here, it's not gonna work. So what you have to do, you have to put one version less. So what we're gonna do, we'll put 18.4.0. If you So if the device is running on 18.4.0 or 18.4.1, whatever you want to set, it means the 18.4.0 is stable, right? So I just want to put the maximum device users. If the device is running on 18.4, which is stable version, there should be no issue, right? You can similarly, you can put the minimum OS build version and maximum OS build version. So you have to find the build version of these two, and you can put it. You don't put all four. Either you can put the minimum OS version or the build version based on your preferences, right? If you want to put the specific build version you are very concerned about, then you can put this the build version like 20 a something like, right? So I'm just giving example of, if the 18.5 is having a 0-day vulnerability, you should put one version lower which is stable, not the 18.5. So if you put 18.5 here, then that version is vulnerable, so your devices will not mark as a non-compliant. So that's why we're putting one lower version which is stable, or whichever is stable you want to. So I'm just putting 18.7, and minimum, you, if you want, you can put, or you can remove it based on your requirement. So maximum I'm just putting next, and you see here action for non-compliant. So what you want, we want to mark these devices non-compliance immediately. You want to send email to the users. We want to send a push notification to the users. We want to remotely lock the non-compliant devices, and we also want to retire the devices after 1 day. So you can put 1 day, and you can send the email push notifications 1 day or 2 days. You can, depend on your requirement, you can select it. For email, you have to select the templates. I don't have the templates. You can select the templates. I have already. You can also notify to the additional admin or groups, right, along with the users. So let me remove this one, and then click next. You can apply to, based on your requirement, all devices or all users, and create this policy. So this will notify the users. It will also mark the devices non-compliant, so that they will not have access to the corporate access, and it also put the devices in the retire, so that it will also clean up. Now You may be wondering, it is not going to blocking, right? It's just sending an email notification. It's just putting the devices in a non-compliant mode, and it's just putting the devices in a retired list, right? It's not blocking the corporate access. So as soon as the devices become non-compliant, you won't be able to access anything. Uh, this is how it works. But you want to block it. For that, you have to go to the app section and create a MAM app person policy. And this MAM app person policy will work with enrollment, without enrollment, right? So based on your choice, you can create a policy. So I'm going to create for one MAM app iOS policy. Okay, you can give any name. You want to select all Microsoft application, or I'm just selecting core Microsoft application. Next, and here I'm not going to do anything. Based on your requirement, you can touch, and I'll just go to the conditional launch, right? So what is in the app condition and what is the device condition? So I'll go for the device condition. So you see here the same Max OS version, right? You can select the minimum OS version, but let's focus on Max OS version. So remember, we have put the stable version 18.4.0 there. I'll put same, and you want to put the action. You want to set the action, like you want to block the access. You can just want it. You just want to wipe the data. It's like inside the applications, like whether it's Outlook or Team. As soon as the user will upgrade their devices above 18.4.0, it will block or warm or wipe based on your chosen action. So I'm just blocking the access. In case if you want to warn it, you can just select Mac OS version again, and you can put 18.5.0, and you can select warm, but or you can select the wipe data. But do not select two Mac OS version, otherwise it will always be confusing. Just select one as per my choice, or I mean as per my recommendation, or you can research more. Similarly, you can see here for app condition, since we are not applying app condition, we just applying the device condition. It's a similar based on the device setting which can be configured for the enrolled devices. So you can select the Max OS version 18 and want to block the access, so which will block, and you can apply to groups. So no, how I should have one groups. I don't know why it's not showing. So you can select the next and apply to this MAM policy. So if you apply these both MAM policy and the compliance policy, it will mark the devices non-compliant. It will notify the users. It will also block the corporate access, corporate data inside the applications. This is how you can block and secure the environment. If any iOS version release has the vulnerability, or 0-day or 1-day vulnerability, because the 0 day is always means that the vulnerability which has been identified, it's unknown to the developer, so it will require some time to fix that. That's why it's called a 0-day vulnerability. I hope you learned something new, how you can block. Unfortunately, there is no way to block the complete OS, but you can restrict the enrollment in case if it's a new devices. But if it's existing devices, they upgrade, there is no way to block. Only ways, they have to downgrade their operating system to become a compliant, or we just block the corporate access. For new devices, there is an option. We can set the enrollment restrictions and set the maximum OS version, so that the user will not able to enroll if the device is running on 8.5 and above. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends who wants to learn Microsoft Intune and become a champion like me. Till then, thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.